Well, everybody, I got the approval today. And so with that being said, here's a letter of confirmation. I also have the audio recordings of when I was frivolously charged with disorderly conduct. There was actually a warrant set out for me because of Kevin Bickford of Island Pond, Vermont, and all of his lies. Okay, so I want to tell you that because of it, there is a statement, judicial misconduct, that I filed against the Vermont judicial system. Now, I'm going to also remind you that because back in April of 2021, the judge declared that I had not done anything, but that Kevin had actually lied about me to the Vermont State Police, encouraging them to come at me with a warrant, violating me, charging me frivolously, and these all lead up to felon and federal offenses. Okay? Criminal, state, federal, civil. Could be federal criminal as well, because what happened as a result of all of this, it got so intense that I got locked out of my apartment. I lost everything. He put in the charges that I couldn't have any contact with my grandson or my daughter. My daughter went missing and was near dead. He continued to abuse my daughter and lied and said that she was the abuser, as well as he lied about me. So the cops wouldn't do anything about it. We got proof of that, okay, through all of it. And even the judge acknowledged that I had gone through every chain of command, and nobody was doing anything. So that means I have the right to file charges against Vermont State Police for violation of the mission statement and violation of my rights. So that's state level, federal level, both of them, okay? And still, we're at federal level, again, with the perpetrator and the real person that committed the crimes, Kevin. What? Because USC 242-1983, I've still got violation of rights against me on that I can't have a gun. Why is that, State Attorney General Vincent Aluzzi as the state's attorney and the Attorney General T.J. Donovan in the state of Vermont? All conspired organized crime, right? So now we're going to find this out because I'm interested in finding it out, aren't you? I know I've been waiting to share with you these statements, but I was also waiting to make sure that my daughter is going to be getting her son back soon. So with her getting healthy again, she's fully alert. She knows what's going on. She's made contact, and she's been able to receive pretty much all of her items as far as I can see in the pictures when she showed me video of her household items. And I see it as a blessing in disguise that she's no longer in Island Pond because she's away from that scumbag hole. It was full of bed bugs, drugs, and everything. Thugs. People on silly pills, psychiatric pills, mental fucking schizophrenic and paranoia pills, okay? And it was all the Bickfords and the Morris in that apartment building, just saying, except for a couple of us. And every single one of them, though, had a drug problem, mental problem, on silly pills, fucking calling the cops, making drugs, doing drugs, selling drugs. And I reported it, and I've still got all those reports. So it's no doubt at all in my mind that Brianna's going to be getting Jacoby back. Because you know why? Because you see, these statements right here, along with the restraining order hearing that I shared audio of to YouTube, and I still have copies if anybody doesn't hear it or believe it, okay? The Vermont State Police accepted records saying 3/23/2021, I took a phone complaint from Kevin Bickford that Kimberly Crossan was harassing him at his apartment door. Where's his apartment? I asked the judge, and the judge said he didn't have an apartment door, that he was a squatter there. But because he knew people there, he could go to other residents. Not much that he could do about it. It was up to the landlord and to the police. Neither one of them did anything, and you already heard that too, because you see, I had audio recording and have audio recording and shared audio recording of the landlord's wife telling me that the cops obviously aren't doing their jobs and it's up to the cops. She doesn't know how much Mike could actually do. Well, Mike and Kevin were obviously up to something with the police, because how did Kevin end up with Brianna's apartment and we were both locked out of our apartments? I was charged with disorderly conduct and stupid shit, come at me with a search warrant, stand in my house like a bunch of fucking retards. They didn't search for anything, so why'd you need a search warrant? You already had a fucking warrant for my arrest. You weren't going to take me anywhere, and you were already violating my rights, so you knew that you were stepping on fucking toes and hoping not to crush fucking your toes or slice them with glass, right? Because you were walking on fucking very thin. Ice or fucking eggshells, I don't know. You decide. But you better know that these reports right here lead to felon charges, state level, and they also lead to federal charges, civil matter. And that right there is going to prove that my grandson has been a victim of a crime committed by Kevin, that family, the police, the state agencies, and the government, as well as his grandmother and his mother. So, says that a warrant for me was issued through Vermont Superior Court. For why? Because of Kevin's fucking false reports and shit. Okay? So then, the inhibiting criminal charge for this warrant was disorderly conduct in violation of blah, blah, blah. The victim was Bickford, my ass. This police report was taken on 2/15/21. Yeah, you know what? That person has a prime example. That's just a prime example of somebody being on fucking schizophrenic and paranoia pills, okay? And I even told the fucking mental health doctor that they all see up there, Northeast Kingdom Services. That's on audio record as well. Okay? So then it says, Crossan was also the defendant in her temporary protection order regarding the plaintiffs. One, whom is Bickford. Okay, Bickford again. Bickford, fucking Bickford. Lied again. And why is it that we're getting to the second restraining order? So Bickford had requested a restraining order and put my daughter's name in it and on behalf of my grandson as well. No contact, okay? He didn't have the business to do that. He says in this report, mind you, that he lives in apartment 8, but the judge said in April, this being March, that no, Kevin didn't live in an apartment 8. He was couch surfing. And the landlord agreed in May, after all this happened, that he was couch surfing and squatting. Okay? Audio recorded and shared to YouTube. So with that being said, law enforcement had during this time period, received several additional complaints from the plaintiffs in apartment 8 regarding Crossan. It is alleged that when law enforcement is not present, Crossan exits the apartment and engages in similar behavior to that which was the impetus for the relief from abuse orders. Okay, what the fuck did I do? If I did anything, it'd be on my audio record, because it was audio record in my apartment 24/7, and knowing that I got audio record on and I don't shut it off, especially if I was going outside my door, you fucking moron. Okay? And knowing that the landlord had surveillance on the outside of the house, who's to say I was doing what? The motherfucking liar? That has what? Escalated the situation to the point where I can file federal and state charges against the state of Vermont, the police, DCF, and all of them involved in these reports. Regarding this complaint, state police received a call from Bickford, again, that Crossan had, yelled obscenities at his apartment door. What fucking apartment? He didn't have an apartment. This is automatic grounds for dismissal right here, plus a turnaround of charges against Bickford for lying about Crossan, and the state police lying about Crossan. Okay? So, to leave and then engaged in this approximately 1-year-old child who is also a protected person in these orders and who also is the target of Crossan's course of conduct. What fucking conduct? The judge already ruled that I wasn't doing anything, that Kevin was fucking woohoo and calling in false reports. He didn't say he's woohoo, but I can tell you, it's a proven fact in his medical records. He was taking schizophrenic and paranoia pills. So why am I the one getting fucking blamed for his stupidity? Yeah, that's what I want to know. So they bumped it up to aggravated disorderly conduct, and when it is also continuation of originating offensive course of conduct, which presented a substantial breach of the victim's peace. Who's the victim? I was the fucking victim. So why hasn't Kevin been charged with what he did? Because everything that he put in these reports is what the judge already said he did to me. I wasn't doing shit to him, or anybody for that matter. So, a state trooper in an unmarked vehicle established surveillance never Crossan's residence. Crossan was observed on foot, and when the affirmed trooper exited her vehicle to approach her, Crossan ran upstairs and began, "You're a lying fucking cunt." Because why? Whoever wrote that lied. Because you see, Deborah Munson didn't even see me. I had gone upstairs. There was no fucking trooper at the house or around the house when I went up over my stairs. I had groceries in my hand, and I went up over the stairs. I heard her coming up over the stairs, and no, I didn't open my door because I don't have to. So she lied. Bickford again called state police and reported Crossan was again outside his door. What fucking door? He doesn't have a door at that time. He wasn't on the lease, and the judge said in April he doesn't live there. He was a couch surfer, and the landlord said he was a fucking squatter. But Human Services was paying the landlord $198 a month for him to squat and couch surf in that apartment building. Tell me that wasn't a setup. Snitch. But you know what? When you snitch, you better be telling the fucking truth, is what I would suggest to any of you out here getting paid to snitch. Which would be the Bickfords, the Morris, the Yates, Sarones. That sums up the fucking whole railroad street. Now Pond. Bickford again called state police and reported Crossan was again outside his door. Again, where the fuck was his door? Okay. She was served a citation to appear in Essex County, as well as the associated relief from abuse orders. Yeah, great. So, relief from abuse orders. Oh, are you talking about this? That's not Brianna's writing. And that is not Brianna's signature. Do I have Brianna's signature? I think I do. I also have Brianna's handwriting. Yeah. Sorry, that don't add up. So then we go judge misconduct, okay? Also, Crossan was also the defendant in 2 temporary protection orders regarding blah, blah, blah. Law enforcement had made several attempts to serve Crossan this legal process. At each visit, there were signs of occupancy, including shoes outside of the apartment door, blah, 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 music playing inside, and the door being slightly ajar. Slightly ajar? No, it wasn't. My doors were always locked, except for the one door that didn't lock. But it was shut. And there was always a blanket in front of it so that it couldn't open when the other doors were slamming. Crossan had not answered the door. I didn't have to answer the door. This had occurred no less than 6 times. Well, one of those times, and several of those times, were after hours of 10 o'clock at night. So why do I have to answer my fucking door to any stranger? They didn't ask themselves. They were knocking on my door. I don't answer the door. I'm in bed when it gets dark out. Not only that, but it was during COVID quarantine, and there were notices on the door. Why do I have to subject myself to fucking stupidity? So they continuously violated my rights. State and federal level. Civil and criminal charges. Do you not get it yet? Law enforcement had, during this time period, received several additional complaints from the plaintiffs in Apartment 8 regarding Crossan. Who were the plaintiffs in Apartment 8? Because Kevin didn't live in Apartment 8. He lied and had my daughter locked up and my grandson taken away, and he became the tenant of Apartment 8. That's what happened. But that didn't happen until the end of May. Memorial Weekend. When him and Kiana had conspired it all. So yeah, aggravated disorderly conduct. Yep, So that's great. So that is why I tell you. And then on March 8th, because he had adult protectors showing up at my house and stuff. So yeah, I called and I found out why. Why? Okay. And so then why does it lead to this again? Because why? Because I don't like being lied about. And when Kevin frivolously had charges and he dampered my grandson from having a relationship with his naturally bonded mother and grandmother, he violated my grandson as well as my daughter and myself. And with that, I don't agree with it at all. I do not agree with anybody being violated, and I am not going to be violated by mental health patients any longer without standing up for my rights continuously. I had to step back for a minute to gather all the evidence. There's always a calm before the storm, and I've been very fucking quiet. And this storm is about ready to erupt. Because here is the original paperwork for judicial misconduct. Okay? And here is a copy of the complaint to the federal court. Against who? Department of Children and Family Services, Kevin Bickford, and everybody involved. Here's another one. It's been received. Okay? Shall I go on? Or should that be enough for you to go on for now? Don't let me forget. Do you see what that says? Protection from abuse order and harassment against the state and the government of Vermont. Oh! That signature I showed you earlier. This is an FBI report, a copy of one. That's Brianna's signature. Not the one that was on the restraining order that was served on me by the Vermont State Police that I just barely showed you a few minutes ago. So there's your proof in fact that the Vermont State Police and their informants lied about me and have brought a lot of hardship on for the state of Vermont. You see that? It's just the beginning, because Brianna's now back on her feet, doing well. She's in her apartment. She's looking wonderful. She's feeling great. Couldn't be happier. You wouldn't even think that anything ever happened to her. That's how quick we bounce back. Do what you want. But we're always going to prevail. And we're always going to reveal the facts and the truth. With that being said, I give all opportunity to publicly apologize before I file that paperwork. I give you 24 hours from February 16, 2022. They give you until February 18th, 2022 to apologize. Return my grandson. USC 242 1983, he should have never been taken. I have proven time and time again, and I got the judge's recording, that Kevin lied. The cops went side by side. They had no reason. I've got audio recording. My daughter was being abused. They had no reason to take my grandson into state custody. This is a major lawsuit. Don't think for a minute it's not. You can say it's not because it might have been put in there because the United States Postal Service, Janine already said they weren't delivering my mail and they weren't delivering anything for Brianna. I still got that in message. Therefore, we didn't receive our paperwork. They frivolously dismissed cases again. We can prove it. And therefore, Washington, D.C. It's looking better every day. Have a great day.